Okay, so we are back with another game developed by Sevdoescard Games, and shit, I was trying to pull it off out of my memory, but I don't remember. Let me see. I'm 100%. Day of Dallas. I thought it says Day Dallas. I guess I did remember. Wait, it is Day Dallas. God damn it! I'm getting trolled. Yes, Sevdoescard Games and Day Dallas. So interesting. I played some Sevdoescard games before, which is Retro Exorcist and then Paradise something. Fuck. Not Paradise, fuck, whatever it is. Paradise. Really? Did I forget? Oh yeah, there's also Aberration. Mirror Drama, yeah. Mirror Drama Paradise Build. Not, goddammit, it's not even, the title is not even Paradise. Pissed off for myself. Anyway, yes, we are going to play this game, which kind of looks different than usual because it has a rather calm and, I don't know, serenading theme to it? I'm not sure. And apparently this is a point-and-click game designed in Ren'Py, so don't see about that. About interesting EVA options. Not much. Let's start the game, shall we? Start. EVA. This is an emergency broadcast from the ship Agamemnon. We are currently stranded in open space in sector. I'm checking if I'm recording. I am recording. Sometimes I forget to do that and I was like, God damn it. Life support systems are functional, but only for a couple of weeks more. Please help us. It's only a matter of time before. Bees. Okay, you. I better investigate. Alright, we are investigating. A little bit of detective work. Oh, this looks interesting. I don't like the way the astronaut? Is that what you say? The space traveler looks very scary compared to the background I'm seeing. Wait, am I covering them? I am covering them. Now it makes me look like I'm saying that I'm the scary one, which is kinda correct. Let's see, let's move my image a bit. Maybe here? Yeah, maybe here? It doesn't cover anything? I think it doesn't cover anything. I've entered the ship, the so-called Agamemnon. The mission I was given was simple. Find the remaining survivors and remove... What do you mean remove them? Like, are we going to save them? You're not saying you're going to save them. You're saying you're going to remove them. But I could also argue, if you say that you're going to save them, you could also be saying, hey, by saving them, I mean I'm shooting them in their fucking head. There seems to be nobody around, they must have all gone to the safe room. So, maybe, by you saying remove, maybe it's a good thing. I better look around for it. There's a hole in the ship. Click the circle to enter the next room. No. Oh, that is weird in a Ren'Py. Yes. How do I explain this? It kind of feels janky, but interesting. Enter. This is the main foyer. It seems the ship has two main roads from here. The entrance to the safe room seems to be through that middle door. There is only... That looks like ammo. Okay, there's 3 doors. Those are bedrooms, lock, safe room. So yes. The door is locked. Why is the gun pointing towards the safe room? That's a gun, right? I can hear survivors on the other side. It must have locked from outside somehow. Looks like I can open it using a code. But I might also be able to just simply break it open. I'm sure there's plenty of way to get the door open, I just gotta find them. Okay. The objective is search for a way to open the door. Is that not a gun? With giant bullets pointed at the door? Interesting. I wonder if there's something locked inside. Other than survivors, of course. Space. Why do we want to go to space immediately? Tablet. Ooh, that looks Oh, this is so cool! I love it. What's this tablet? What's this? It seems like some sort of personal digital notebook for one of the crew members. I'll keep note of its contents. There may be useful information contained. Plug and head to the menu. Oh, there it is. Sarah. Oh my god. Shell, got summoned to the armored for routine maintenance check earlier. Frank had given me a firm handshake and politely showed me around the place. Honestly, I had almost never gone there, not since I was commissioned for the ship. The walls were lined with racks upon racks of machine guns, grenades, rocket shells. If it blew up aliens, they had it. Honestly, a collection completely baffled me. Why are we carrying all these small arms if we are a fleet unit? Shouldn't they be reserved for ground troops instead? It almost felt like there was a deeper reason, but I just shrugged it off, like it's not my place to ask questions pertaining to the ranks outside my purview anyways. Frank innocently gestured with a meaty hand. That's a way to describe it? Meaty hand towards the ventilation unit. Then was a regulator and a dozen other electronic components that made up the room cell control system. Like, I was supposed to just immediately know if they were functioning at maximum efficiency at a glance. Isn't that what all engineers are capable of doing? Just like a glance and you immediately know? That's what I learned in Barotrauma. Oh god, I really love Barotrauma. It's a shame I cannot stream it. Like, I don't think it's so heavy. But yes, like, usually you're just running as an engineer and then you can see, oh shit, the progress is like bad, or you just see like the visual effect fire. Like everything is burning. That's how you know you should fix things. Which I could. Oh, yeah, you could. And they were, but that was besides the point. However, in the midst of a mundane menagerie of warning. Wait, what? Of machines, I didn't notice something up. The Kennedy cartridge share fabricator had a little warning sign flashing on its interface panel. The kind that you might see displayed on a shitty office printer screen interface. Frank noticed me staring at it and confidently remarked that it had been there since he was enlisted on the Agamemnon. But it's always worked, so he just ignored it. Exactly like a shitty office printer. Grave error that looks more like a simple warning, so easily ignored yet so insidious. A classic blunder. What's wrong with that? I had to calmly explain that the fabricator was about to run out of a critical shell component and that if it wasn't resolved soon, it will begin malfunctioning inert, unusable ammunition. He was visibly embarrassed by this revelation and asked what it required. I responded it only needed Magnum warheads. What? Yeah, okay, Magnum warheads, easy. Which he definitely replied that he had them in abundance. And so it was, inserted the new cartridge into the fabricator and they were dissipated into electronic ether. Interesting. Bedrooms are I kind of feel sleepy. I'm gonna go to bedroom. By sleepy, I mean I want violence. Let's go to the armory. And you know what? Armory is mentioned first. Oh, wait, no, yeah, that is a mini telescope. Log in ready to the menu. Telescope. You pick up a telescope. Nope, that's not. It seems to be a weapon assembly module. If I had the parts, I could make a bullet for that cannon near the safe room. And a shell, warhead, and a warhead. So, 2 warhead? Okay, cool. We're just crafting the shell bomb. Yes. More telescope. You pick up a telescope. Wait, telescope. Oh, that is a scary hole. Surgical laser. It appears to be a surgical laser. I wonder what it's doing outside of the med bay, because it's near the med bay. This could probably be used to cut through something, but it's missing a battery. Plug and ready to the menu. Pipes. Metal pipes. Metal pipes. Pipes. There seems to be some pipes missing. Looks like some have a number written on them. I wonder if a code will be written out once all of the pipes are. Wow, immediate a clue. Interesting. Hello, anyone in the med bay? Yes, there is someone in the med bay. I think they're fine, they're just sleeping. Look at it. Entry to the menu, look entry to the menu. Let's see. Nothing important here, I just went. Oh! Oh! That's. Oh, I got teleported far away. I feel like the fact that there's no safe options is kinda blunder since... But... Let's read the luck, shall we? Sarah Frank Gassendal, Frank? Earlier this morning for whatever the interstellar equivalent is, I got a bridge call to the engineering department. One of those farms or shiftlings, as the layman crew tends to call them, had introduced in the room, stood aboard somehow a recon. I didn't hesitate to respond, although I also knew using any firearms on a spacefaring vessel was an ill-advised proposition. Didn't have much time to grab a good melee weapon, so I had to improvise. I yanked out one of the pipes from a manifold in the wall, and I got to work on the little bastard. What? Wait, what? What are you telling him about? He didn't quite resemble his full body or anything, so I didn't hesitate to mash his brains in if the sucker had any to begin with. Xenoanatomy was never really my strong suit at the academy, so there's an alien and you just bash it in the head? Okay. So I guess if he did have a brain, he would have known not to step one goddamn tendril on our ship. Anyway, the pipe was sort of shaped like a fork. Okay, four. Now caught in some... Okay, thank you for mentioning it. Now caught in some odd and goop that I presume to be what remained of its organs. Yummy. This was an exceptional pipe. We had many bizarre pipes that snake around the ship like tangled veins, but it did stick out to me. I handed it off to Sarah, who had been standing in awe at the whole spectacle. The rest of the engineers bunched up behind her. She muttered something about the new dance in the pipe interrupting the flow of energy, blah 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 blah. But I knew that she knew she appreciated my handiwork. Then she calmly wrenched it back into the first section of the manifold on the left side, and that was about all of the personal bit of engineering I could handle doing for a day, so I tracked back to my armory. Wait. That's all. I did all my engineering jobs, beating an alien with a pipe. Amazing. Yes then. Let's start surgery. I don't remember much from the fight. According to the doc, I was already unconscious and bleeding out by the time he found me. He rushed me straight to the med bay and gave me IV fluids, yeah, and artificial blood. Likely the last of it, but as an officer, I had prior converted the rest of the crew. He told me he patched me up as best as he could, but because of the battle, he could only do so much for me before moving on to more urgent patients. What battle? I assured him that he probably had done his best and he didn't have to apologize, and he seemed relieved to hear that, but the truth was I could remember quite a bit. I remember the sirens, the screams, and the captain, and while Doug had made an incision with his scalpel to pull detritus, from my body, I started to slip one of his spare scalpels into my pocket while pretending to be unconscious. I don't know what's going to happen when we finally lock ourselves in the safe room, but I do know that at least I'll be armed. Works? Oh, please tell me. Oh, yeah, that's cool. The man is already dead. I love these kind of shots. It seems as if he was in the middle of a surgery. I'm not sure if that's a surgery. There's a battery inside of him. I mean, it needed. Why there's a battery inside of him? They can direct a part of the body. Disgusting. I like that. Are you going to move? I got a battery. Is there something to pick from there? Like picking eyes? I'm sure I could use it to power something. Laser surgery. Laser surgery. Do I want to click that? Yep, fuck. If I have the wire of a bullet shell, okay, it still works. Just ignore that. Oh yeah, there's another note. The telescope. Gaston just finished having one last look in his Navy's telescope before we entomb ourselves in the safe room. Our very own panic bunker. Why the telescope? He seems to steal himself or something. I'm not actually sure what, but I think it's safe to say we are all on the same page at this point. The rest of the crew, besides the 5 of us, have been told to relegate to the other side of the ship, where there's escape pods, and await further instruction as we deliberated. We don't have escape pods. This vessel wasn't designed for mass evacuation. It simply isn't large enough to house them. But the crew believed him. Perhaps they thought he was actually telling the truth, or maybe they just wanted to believe that escape after such a disastrous ambush was still possible. The safe room was ultimately designed for us, the most critical and senior members of the crew, and it can only habitate and sustain us alone. Sure, maybe you could have fit a couple more people and we all knew the captain was lying through his teeth. But if we exposed that blatant lie, panic would set in and we would all perish in the individual struggle for the safe room. So we stayed completely silent while he spouted lies to the crew. It disgusted me and I disgusted myself. Aw, who's the disgusting one? Yeah, you pick up the surgical laser and start fighting the face. Interesting. Wait, can we interact now? We cannot interact with stuff. Can we interact with Shell? No, apparently not. I mean, we got a warhead, so... Yeah, shall we not more, I guess. The quarters. That's a bunch of pints. Interesting. Tablet. Where? Upper quarters. Pints. You pick up a pile of assorted pints. Upper quarters, let's see. Telescope. You pick up a telescope shell fuse. You pick up the fuse of a bullet shell. Tablet. That's a lot of log entry. Pocket. What's covering the screen? I'm not sure. Tablet, log entry. That's a lot of things to read. I like that. Space. Wait, what? You place the telescope in the open space. I already placed the telescope here. Shell body. You pick up the empty body of a bullet shell. Why do we need the telescope? We have three of them. Fascinating. So now we are going back and then we are... You place the telescope in the open space, I don't see any of it. And I'm not sure what it does. Oh wait, people have different type of dialogues, I see. Gaston came in and visited us again not long ago. He actually replaced and fixed one of a loose pipe recently, which was rather cruel of the guy. I don't know him all that well. I mostly scouts around the ship until we get assignment, then he's in the zones and get all hyper-focused. He had set up one of his classic telescopes in our department where the light really pours in from the refractor solar panels that tend to channel starlight in. Honestly, it's a strange place to set up concerning the intensity of light, but if there's a window, he'll park the telescope right up next to it. And there aren't many decent windows here to actually do these things to begin with. So I understand it was a pretty large telescope too. I think it was Arquebus brand. Definitely high quality stuff. I look like the goddamn Hubble with all the bits and bobs attached. Anyway, I think the captain mentioned that he wanted to speak with me privately. Something related to a special maneuver in the near future that will require a lot of power usage. I'm sure it's nothing we can handle. Oh, sorry, I get interrupted. Here we are, back. Laser surgery. Today, accidentally, on Dr. heckling up one of our beloved crew members after a particularly vicious encounter in the Delta Quadrant. Oh, interesting. Vicious encounter and hacking your crew members. Damn near started the man to death, but I tell him before to remember to lock the door to the med bay while he's conducting this finicky operation of his. After the initial shock, he just glared at me but remained intensely focused on whatever he was doing. I was just there to change out the dead bulb in the ceiling. I thought that should have been delegated to one of my subordinates, because I clearly had better things to do like anything but my job on the day off. But it was given to me instead because all other engineers are on their day off. Doc had also chirped in some dumb joke about how many juniors it took to screw in a light bulb during a captain's meeting. So here I was. Oh. Anyways, I couldn't help but watch on my letter as he was taking a piece of sharpnel out of some poor Seb's gut. I never seen such a frail man pull out a chunk of solid steel with such force as he did, and with a pair of forceps no less. I was so transfixed by his swift motion that I ended up dropping the bulb and shattering it on the ground. And of course, like clockwork, he stood the man up, slapped me on the back and asked me how many seniors engineers it took to screw in a light bulb. I didn't answer him. That. Right. Oh my god, there's a lot of lots. Telescope Horizon Navigator showed up the main foyer this evening for morning. Who knows? I'm never getting used to space-time. I was sharing a stick with Doc while chatting about what we thought the captain's next move was after this system. Doc offhandedly mentioned the captain advising him to be ready for something in the coming days. Probably wasn't anything really important, just another battle with the rest of the fleet. Cap always gave us those kind of little pep talk before we got deployed that felt more like lectures than anything. My rumination was interrupted by the clicking of the telescope cap against the cold floor as Justin propped it up towards the skylight, and Gaston suddenly waved me over to have a look. I don't normally entertain myself with stargazing like he did. To me, there hadn't been much I hadn't already seen, but this time I decided to humor him, given the tedium of Doc's small talk wearing theme. He launched into an elaborate explanation about the telescope and its many fascinating properties, like the telescope being a Rosenthal field, of which I'm not sure what that is. Largely ignored, I had a peer through the scope, and honestly it was remarkable, but in the midst of hundreds of distant stars, there was a light that stood out among them. It looked artificial, not a wondrous stellar creations millions of years in the making. Interesting. No, more like within the past couple of years. And just as quickly as I spotted it, it vanished into recesses of space. That's that? Perhaps I had only been imagining it, but I couldn't shake the feeling like we were being watched for the rest of the evening. Terrifying. Laser surgery. For that day, I had to help Doc return a rather uncooperative patient while he was opening him up for a gallbladder removal, or something to that effect. Doc had told me that he was trying to do what he was trying to do this guy, but I couldn't quite hear him over the agonized screaming. Poor bastard was allergic to the anesthetic or resistant to it, so he couldn't be put under, but this was also an urgent do-or-die type of deal. How bad is that gallbladder? What the hell? At the time, I didn't know why Doc wouldn't just let me punch him out at the start, but I did kinda enjoy the challenge of holding him down while Doc's delicate hand worked their magic, and I probably would have just hurt him more than if I hadn't. Oh well, it was going swimmingly until Doc revealed some wicked-looking retractor. Like this thing had to been almost half foot wide when extended. The guy he was operating on started crashing at the mere sight of it harder than he had been in the past half hour or so. I finally got annoyed enough to clobber him with a swift left hook up to his noggin, and then beyond it, went out like a light. What the fuck? Doctors, when your payment for anesthetic got rejected. Doc just gave me a fierce pissed look and barked something about patient safety and dignity, but it also seemed relief he could do his work without the person who was working on feeling about the entire time. I understand his anger, the Hippocratic oath, do no harm and all that, but sometimes I think you gotta do a little harm before you can do some good. And sometimes that good ultimately comes from boxing a man upside the head. I don't know. Maybe? Gaston. So we have an Shell. Observing the space with one of my telescopes today, I had just been tracing a nebula cluster. As per my usual routine in my off time. Oh yeah, you're a telescope person. The cap gave me the okay to open the shutters for the observation foyer too, so I was taking my sweet time bringing up the stars. Everything was flawless for an evening of stargazing, but in the view of my telescope I saw something odd. It had been obscuring my view when I crossed paths with it. It took me a little recalibrating to enhance the image of the object, but it was definitely close. Relatively speaking, in the context of ancient stars that exist millions of light years away from us. I get a better look, almost certainly one of our spent kinetic altered shells. This didn't surprise me. We'd often peppered the local space with them after a particularly ferocious battle. Though what did surprise me is the shell still being present here and now of all places. I don't know, maybe I'll shot something and it'll follow you. You know? At the time we were hovering over a recently conquered colony planet, we had helped take from the forms largely alone even, only accepting assistance from ground deployment brigades to secure it. All the spent shell from the battle should have already fallen to the planet well before I set up here. And it wasn't just one. There were dozens, no hundreds of them. All of these particle shells could exert the force of a small nuclear bomb if they were shot and detonated within an atmosphere. I remember reading that somewhere in the munition manifest, every Starburster class shell body had the capability to fit those type of warheads on them. Before I could move this scope to see the scale of them, the captain walked in and interrupted me, sternly motioning towards his chamber to discuss important matter. Laser surgery. I don't remember much from the fight. According to Nagi, I was already unconscious and bleeding out by the time you found me. Wait. Oh wait, we already read this. Interesting. How about Doc? Doc, are you okay? I'm not sure. Let's see. The pipes are holding. Singing, really. They are bursting everywhere around ship earlier. Sarah and the rest of the engineers suddenly got it under control. Almost the entire crew was expected to help replace them, and I was an exception despite my privilege as a physician. We each had an engineer browbeating and monitoring us, wrenching them back into place, exercising their temporary newfound power to the fullest extent, as to be expected of an engineer. It was Sarah's turn to pat me on the back and ask me how many doctors it took to repass the pie. Got him! And she handed me... I love that. I love the continuation there. And she handed me one that was shaped like a 3 to be put in a far right spot on the manifold. Huh. Far right spot. Which one? Top? Bottom. We both had a laugh. I know I had something coming up last week, but something was bugging me. Why did we have such a huge force surge all of a sudden? We kept a consistent pace with the rest of the fleet. It shouldn't be necessary. But I also realized it wasn't worth worrying about. I'm not an engineer after all. We already read the telescope, so this one shall. Never seen as many casualties as I had today. Ooh. The whole evening aware of stitches, sutures, and surgery. When war comes up in conversation, people often talk about the thrill of battle and the adrenaline rush involved in fighting an enemy to death, but none talks about the wounded aftermath that is just as hectic with almost as many lives on the line. Midway was back beyond capacity, overflying into the corridors of the ship. Like an idiot. We never should have been here without reinforcement, but I left. Our spars were already stretched thin, being months without a rehab at the spaceport, and the desperation was truly palpable here. We definitely couldn't save everyone. I had to make all our snap decisions that I regret. But I'm old enough to know I would have regretted any course of actions. Even started pulling apart ammunition and using the firebrand fuse we had as makeshift cauterizer. There was only so much time before we had to retreat into the reinforced safe room, and assess the next steps from there. Even as I write this, everyone is assembling the foyer for another one of the captain's grandiose speeches might be our last. Okay, that's all. So we can assemble the warhead now. Yes? I forgot the parts now to put it all together. Click and drag the parts into the correct plane. Oh, this is interesting, I like it. Oop, that's the correct place. The parts seems to be in the correct order. Now I just get press button and this button and I'll have a bullet. You get a large bullet. Why are we blasting the door open? You sure that's a good idea? Maybe it is a good idea. Who am I to judge? It's not like I've... Oh. Oh. There's a keypad here. I can open the door if I know the code. I wonder if it's written down anywhere. I cannot place the telescope, so... This is amusing. Oh, a pipe. Maybe if we do the pipe first, it'll fix the issues? I'm not sure. I cannot advance at all. Wait, what? Huh? Wait. Oh, that's why. That's why you want to open it. I think when we place the telescope does something. There's 3 ways. Mission conclusion. Agamemnon fully infiltrated and documented. All human survivors were liquidated by and the remains were exhumed by a secondary team. Captain was presumably preemptively eliminated by senior crew whose remains have not been found. There's 3 ways. One is using the telescope, I don't know how. That explains a lot. And then of course the rail shell. And the pipes, of course. Do we want to do pipes? Okay, let's see. We're just split blazing crew because I want to know. So here we go. This should do the job? I'm not sure why it's kinda bugged. You place the bullet in the cannon, you fire the door, bringing it open. Wait, does it say it has 4 endings or 4 ways to go through this game? That is cool. So whatever is following them, it has like its own gravitational pull that pulling all the shells, and that thing is coming. Like it's following them. And we were being sent from those things. Yeah, we get 2 stars. Okay, it says road. So we can go somewhere else, I see. Yes, we can enter that. And then here. I assume we already got a telescope, yes? So there's also the pipes. Okay, cool. Cool. Pipes. The 4-1 is on the right. There is no 4-1. Wait, I think it's 3-1 that's right. Yes. Oh, it just snaps. Okay, that's actually really nice. It's here. It seems to be within the correct order. So for 1-3, the number in order with 4-1-3 seems like a code for something. You get a door code. Why will they write it randomly? That's kinda silly, don't you think? How does the telescope work again? There's some space here. If I knew to put something large in here, that would be a good spot. Oh, wait, the telescope is like a laser thing. No? That's kinda cool. You enter the code to safe room. I love it from like the looks of like safety to despair. The transition. That's really amazing. Sure, terrifying. What's the 4th one then? Wait. Laser tool, yes! That's how we do it. Surgical laser, yes. Oops. We need the body parts. Thank you for your contribution. Surgical laser. You pull out the surgical laser and begin turning the door. The laser is intended for serious duties, highly effective against the metallic door. Hi! How is all of you? Doing well? Oh well, goodbye. That is cool. What does the Sephora thing do? We're just collecting things. I guess that's. Wait, I'm still curious about the explanation of the telescope. So I'm just gonna grab the telescope and see. Telescope, where is it? One telescope, and the other two should be in the other room then. Wait, no, we can place it here. So here. Okay, let's telescope. She'll go here. Close the telescope to open space. Light from the cockpit window shines through each of the lenses and reaches the door. After a while, light burns through. Oh, okay, so it is. That's. How strong are those telescopes? What the fuck? Okay. So just 4 different routes to reach inside the cabin. I kinda like it short, terrifying. I was expecting more of an alien situation of like, there's an infiltrator or something. I guess there is an infiltrator or something. I'm not sure how it works. But I think it's more of an alien war type of shit. Also, I wasn't expecting that we are the alien. I thought we are like sent by the space cruise or something to eliminate the aliens in the ship that is hiding in the ship, you know, since the gun's pointing to the door and everything, so maybe something is locked there, something dangerous, but that supports my expectations, since that, why would they put a cannon in front of the safe room is confusing to me, actually. But that's EVA for you all. Oh my god, there's more stuff that I want to learn about these aliens, and I feel like there could have been more stories about them that builds the horror of the terrifyingness of all of them. Like the part with the telescope thing, like all the shells floating is just interesting, and something watching them that's all honestly cool, like kills the alien part here. But I guess that's all for Eva. I hope you enjoyed it. See you later then. In my next video. Banger games as always from Sevdoescard and and the other person. Fuck. It'll be really helpful if the about has like, you know, description of people who developed it. They tell us. Sorry about that. But yeah, thank you for watching. See y'all then. Bye bye.